Welcome back to the Aces NFL show, powered by our friend StatMate at PointsBet. We're joined by Aaron Sipos, and we're at home today. It's a work from home day. That's right. The season's over, and we just couldn't be fuck rolling into the studio. Hey, we've run out of budget because we've blown it on the Aces hub. We've come up short on every single bet. The Patriots were absolutely puked shit. You've jumped ship. You had the Patriots top on. Now you're rocking the Tennessee Titans. I mean, it was some sort of game. I looked at the box score only about half an hour ago. I couldn't believe how many points were scored in the last quarter, but I mean, upwards to three-quarter time, was it 12-0? The Patriots did exactly what they shouldn't have done. They tried to run the ball. They tried to, compete with this Seahawks defense, and in the end, they were just too strong. But before we get into it, mate, let's start with a tailgate event here in Melbourne. Obviously, they did it in Brisbane and Sydney, and from all reports, it was just fireworks. But how good was the Melbourne event?
Oh, unreal. 1,500 people there. Absolutely so much energy. Cheerleaders flying everywhere. It was unbelievable. It was a fantastic day, honestly. I think we did a pretty good job. I think they were pretty happy with us in the end, and it came together very, very nicely. We would have loved the game to be a little bit more entertaining for most of the day, but the crowd was fantastic, and they put on an absolute amazing event. So a great thing to be a part of.
For anyone that was there that come up and said hello to me and Sip, and also gave us some positive feedback at the end and said how much they enjoyed the hosting, we did have to flex our muscles a bit. When I say our muscles, our voices, because we were required to do much more than we planned, which we love doing, by the way. But it was, we were meant to be all off the stage at halftime, but because the game was so flat, we were really just trying to G everyone up. And luckily, we had the Rixies and the T-shirts from the tailgate crew, and we even spotted Brendan Favola in the crowd trying to throw balls at me nuts. We got him on stage, big Green Bay Packer fan he is. He even had a bloke do a nudie run, well, a half nudie run, just to liven up the crowd. I mean, it was all going on at the tailgate fest, and it was a great day, mate. So, yeah, just want to say another huge shout out to everybody that attended, to the tailgate fam that invited us to host. We really appreciate you guys, your friendship, and the opportunity to be a part of something really special. It is by far the biggest Super Bowl party in Australia, and they do it better than anyone. They had everything that you want. And when it comes to American sport, they really delivered with the entertainment. So to everyone, thank you so much for having us. And congratulations again to the tailgate crew that put on an absolute show. Let's talk about the game now, Sip. I want you to give me a Super Bowl 60 review in 3 minutes or less, and just tell me some key things that come to mind straight away.
Well, Drake Maye finally got found out by a decent defense. That's the first thing that comes to mind very, very quickly. Look, he had a great year, but when push came to shove, it was too hard for him. Not enough weapons. They were so explosive. Too much for him. I was very interested though why it took so long for them to get a few deep balls, get down the field. Why did it take for them to be down 19-0, and then all of a sudden let's try and open up the playbook and get going? Next drive, 3 plays, or 80 yards, whatever it was. Matt Collins, happy days, and you're like, okay, maybe we've got a ball game here. 19-7, still a bit to go. I was a little bit surprised by that, so I thought McDaniels maybe could have done a few more things. Leads me into the 4th down opportunities that they had. Like, you knew you had to keep Seattle's defense on the field a little bit just to tire them out. Too many 3 and outs there to keep them nice and fresh, and I just thought they missed out on a few opportunities there to really kind of get the game closer, a few more explosive plays, and who knows what would happen there. So I thought that was a little bit strange. Darnold did what he had to do. We said it during the week. All he had to do was look after the ball, play to the clock as well as he can, give the ball off to Walker when he needs to, make the plays when he needs to. It's exactly what he did. He complemented that defense extremely well. And you get out to 19-0, you're not going to come back from that. And it's very, very rare you're going to win a game from, being 19-0 down a Super Bowl. So credit to him. He was fantastic. He did what he had to do, which was great to see. I go back to the Patriots. Why didn't they give it to Hunter Henry more? I'm shocked. I'm genuinely shocked. Big tight end, 6'7", basically catches anything you put in front of him. Why did it take until 5 minutes in the last quarter to give him the ball? I'm genuinely shocked by that. And that's really the main things that I've got for you out of that game. There's not much. I don't need to talk about the Seahawks too much. They did what they needed to do. We knew what they were going to give you going into that game. They were phenomenal. Would we have liked them to score a bit more on the offensive side of the ball? Only one offensive touchdown? Yep, absolutely. But they knew going into that game that their defense would put him in good spots and put him under the pump, force New England to do things that they didn't want to do. 2 picks for Drake Maye, fumble recovery for 6 points. And the Patriots just needed to create more opportunities, and I didn't think they did a good enough job to be able to make that happen. So that's my little spill on the Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks. They have been the best team all year, deserved winners. And, to cap it off, which I'm sure you'll speak about in a little more depth, and, Dicko was unbelievable. Just to cap it all off. What a show from the best guy in the competition. He capped it off in style, and a really good win for the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, speaking of capping it off, Sip, I've even got the Champions cap on me head. I mean, you couldn't have led me any better. I've got other points, but I'll start with Dicko. I mean, we're talking about 3 punts inside the 20, but what about the one inside the 2 or the 3? He was just putting on a show. He ended up having 7 punts, 335 yards, an average of 47.9 on the biggest stage with a 55-yarder as his longest punt of the day. He put on a show, and that's exactly what the Seattle Seahawks have done all year, but especially the postseason. And my favorite part, Sip? I don't like being the devil, but I copped it in the comments from some Patriots fans, and I forgot about some of the nasty things that were said to me. And a couple of them, they actually gave me their a reply to their own comment before I could get back in there with the receipts, which I don't normally do, Sip. But there were some nasty blokes, going, "You've slept on the Patriots all year." Well, I haven't. I said it to, and you know what? I put me plums on the line. You don't always get it right, but I felt like we got it right with this one. It was the line at 4.5 was ridiculous. That they've never faced a complementary football side, in my opinion, this year. The Patriots never faced that full complementary football side. Special teams, defense, offense. In the end, I don't think the Seattle Seahawks played the best offense. Kanine stepped up, like we said, when the Patriots get smacked. He went for 135 yards on the ground. He had a few catches as well, 160 plus scrimmage yards. And not to mention that bad beat at the end, Sip, where I needed a touchdown and they threw the flag. I mean, come on, refs, just give us the touchdown. It's the end of the game. They're being smoked. Anyway, that just summed up the punter's day on the props and how strange it was. But Kanine steps up. The defense were unbelievable. And we just spoke about Dicko and special teams. So the Patriots, I felt they hadn't faced that. A lot of their fans thought that they had. Drake Maye being, discussed next to Matty Stafford. The strength of schedule was weak. Like, the strength of schedule was so weak. 8 coaches getting sacked, 3rd string, 4th string quarterbacks, backups all year. Like, the proof was in the pudding. And it was the easiest run to a Super Bowl. And like I said, the Bills should have been there. The Bills play in that Super Bowl. It's a completely different story. But hey, we can't go back there. I still love Drake Maye, and I love Vrabel, and I love their offense and what they're about. And their defense, but they weren't. I didn't think they were a Super Bowl caliber this year. So I'm glad it went the way it did. A little shout out to our man Morgs. How about you grow a pair of plums and do the video that you said you would, like putting the camera on the ground and say, "I'll do whatever the top comment is if the Seahawks get beat." I felt like he bitched it, Sip. He thought the Patriots might have been a sniff, and he didn't put his money where his mouth is. So Morgs, if you're listening, mate, just shattered. The line was 4.5 and you won by whatever, 16 points. You should have at least put that plums on the line for the boys. But yeah, there's a couple of points for you. And I got a few more as well. I want to really ramble really quickly here. Will Campbell was humbled. I mean, they just targeted him. Witherspoon, they had a plan for it. Mike McDonald was electric. So I just thought they had a strong plan. They targeted what was meant to be their best player. And he was really humbled. A young player, but they really just had their way with him and put Drake Maye under the pump. And in the end, he was a bit nervous in the pocket. And they already knew that going into the game. You'll see some NFL films footage of their safety taking that pick after dropping one earlier. I want to give a shout out to a Patriots player. He was best on by a mile for them. Their cornerback, Christian Gonzalez. I thought he was elite. we knew the deep ball was coming. He stopped one from Shaheed. I mean, their whole wide receiver unit didn't really get going. Cooper Kupp went for 60 yards, but it was a real clinical performance on the ground. But I thought him and a few other corners did really well. And Gonzalez only allowed 36 yards and 3 receptions all day in a game where they were getting smashed. So huge shout out to him. The Patriots have got a serious cornerback there, and they'll be back. You know, their defense will get better. They're only a young side. I nearly said they'll be back. Well, that's the thing I was going to tell you. I don't think they'll be back next year. I reckon they're going to struggle to even make the playoffs. If you look at the run they've got, it's a tough run. I can see them losing 8 or 9 next year. Have a look at their schedule. Get back to me. They're going to have to really win those games. But yeah, big shout out to Christian Gonzalez. And the other one I got for you is Matty Stafford special. Like, I was just thinking about it today. How good is he against that defense? And how good is that Seattle Seahawks defense? So the fact that he's going around again, I think you can call it now. No doubt there's on the run sheet at the end. They're going to ask about our predictions next year. But that NFC Championship game, Rams, Seahawks, you can lock it in now. I feel like it's going to be a repeat of this year. They're probably going to be just as good. Seahawks have got salary cap, room to get some more players in. They don't have to re-sign a couple, but they'll be even better next year. So there's a few things from the game. And as I said earlier, I just thought Dicko's an absolute stud. Cooper Kupp is a great team man. If you think about his career, 3 wide receivers, and they all involve him with the best seasons ever, and that's JSN and Puka. So there's something about Cooper Kupp and how much of a good player he is, but how much of a team man he is. And then speaking of GOATs, I mean, the GM and the coach for the Seahawks, but ultimately the GM, he puts that team together. Man, he has not missed. Look at who they've drafted. He's hit every single time. So, look, he should go in the Hall of Fame for GMs, because what he's done with the Seattle Seahawks, I mean, they missed the playoffs last year, and now they've won the Super Bowl. I mean, it's unbelievable. And as a Ravens man, I love me Ravens. We missed the playoffs this year, so I'm hoping that we can take a leaf out of his book with the new coach we just signed. But yeah, mate, that's kind of a little recap for me to you. Any thoughts on that?
I just find it amazing, again, how you look at it and go, you go to the MVP voting and you go, Matthew Stafford won by 1 vote against Drake Maye, and you come up against that defense and you saw what Stafford does compared to Drake Maye. I know one's a regular season, but hey, NFC Championship game and a Super Bowl, and you saw what Stafford did. So real credit to him, and it just showed the difference in there in the end. And look, as I said, deserved winners, the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm getting a bit hot and bothered there just thinking about my Ravens. I was getting a bit fired up just thinking about if the Seattle Seahawks can do it, then we can do it, Sid. Look, there was plenty
I
of
can see it. You're sweating already.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just went for a little run just to sweat out the piss from Monday. Let's talk about some bets. I thought the highlight of the day for me was the coin toss. the Joshy Geimer coin toss. I mean, he does it every year. We had the whole table on heads. That was a really good moment. I thought that was going to set the tone for the day. It certainly, it did, but wow, it was a real slow start. Then we got to halftime, mate, and I didn't understand a word that was going on, and I didn't really watch much of it because we were running around like chooks without a head, trying to jack the crowd up and give them free Rixies and free merchandise from the Tailgate Fest crew. But I want to ask you, what were your thoughts on the Super Bowl halftime show now that you've been able to probably watch it again and learn a little bit more about it?
Oh yeah, look, I thought he did a great job, Bad Bunny. It's quite phenomenal what he's obviously gone through. 10 years ago, he's racking up groceries, and now he's on the major stage. And I love all the memes. I love it. No, he's had more yards on the Super Bowl than what the Patriots offense was. Phenomenal, like funny stuff. But I thought it was real quality and bit of a storyline behind it. He's obviously gone through the hard yards and everything like that. And it was good viewing. If you wanted to have a little bit of a boogie in there at halftime instead of just chatting to us and talking a bit of garbage, it was well worth the watch.
Yeah, well said, mate. I loved it. The more that I researched into it, there's plenty of messages within there. I loved, how powerful his message was at the end. The only thing more powerful than hate is love. I love that message. I love the inclusiveness as well. But what I also noticed was just the small businesses that he involved in the skits. Like he had, if you look at everything he did, there was like people like with a taco business from LA that were involved, and they had these two champions from Puerto Rico. Like the more that you learn about what he did and the people he brought together and all the scenes and all the flags at the end, I just thought it was elite. I know Donald Trump wasn't happy with it, and I know a lot of
Mm,
people weren't happy with it, but ultimately it is an American football. That's exactly what it is. It's American football, but it's now a global game. Everyone around the world watches this. And, we didn't understand what he was saying if you don't know Spanish. But I think, I really enjoyed it when I watched it back, and just think about what one man can do, the pressure of the halftime show, and what an unbelievable achievement for him and his family. But so I tip my hat to Benito. I
mm.
believe that's his name, Sid. And I also tip my hat to some of the people he had in there. And one of them, I mean, Jessica Jessica Alba is
Oh,
aging like Tom
oh.
Brady. I mean, is she not the hottest chick in the world? Like, I watched her when I was a kid in
She
movies, and she looks even younger
yes.
now, Sip. Like, when you see her on the stage and she's running around, I don't know how old Jessica Alba is, but oh my lord, I was going to say she's aging like fine wine, but she really is aging like Tom Brady's hairline, cheekbones, and chompers.
There is no doubt she's a very beautiful woman. So it was quite nice to see. There's no doubt about that. He had a few rolling around there, which was good. But yes, she has aged very, very well.
I must say, speaking of aging well, I'm not sure if it's money or maturity, but have you seen Bad Bunny evolve over the years, Sip, and the kind of looks that we had 10 years ago to today? Have you seen some of the
I
evolution
have,
of
I
Bad
have.
Bunny?
I have. There's no doubt. It has to be a combination of both, but I'll probably lean towards the money side of things, that's for sure.
I think it might be money, but I must say Bad Bunny definitely looking the best now. He's got the grouse set up, I reckon, with the curls. But I mean, I'll give him some feedback from back in the day. He's definitely found himself, because some of those looks early days, I didn't even recognize him, but I only saw some stuff on the internet. So hey, well done to Bad
Maybe some
Bunny, and
nice
well done
veneers.
to everyone involved, and even the people that were trees. You can actually apply for that job as long as you're over 179. So to a few of my friends like Risky, Crafty, and Guymer, bad luck boys, you probably wouldn't get a chance. But there's a few other guys that wouldn't be a sniff on the Super Bowl
Very good.
60 halftime show, because you don't meet the requirement of over 179 centimeters. But I found that one interesting as well. All those people that were trees because they couldn't have too much weight on the field. So it's just unbelievable how they can pull these halftime entertainment shows off in the, I think it took about 8 minutes to set up, 15 minutes to play, and then get it all off. And then you have
Mm.
a second half of football to come. It's just crazy, isn't it?
No doubt. Yeah, obviously everything that kind of goes into it, the stage setting, obviously still trying to look after the turf and that at the same time, knowing there's a second half to be played. So much goes into it. I remember obviously being at my one, and geez, they don't mess around. There is you see the hundreds of people that are on the show at halftime and doing their thing. There is double that is trying to take all that stuff off and put it on the field. So it is quite a situation, and they do a fantastic job.
StatMate makes AFL player stats easy. At the click of a button, you can discover insights like you've never seen before. Disposals and goals to fantasy points, how a player performs at a certain venue, or even when a teammate is out through injury, StatMate has you covered. Don't waste your time. Become an expert in just a few taps of a button. AFL player stats and insights thanks to your new best mate. Download StatMate for free today.
I just want to go back to the game. Like, jokes aside, I thought the Patriots offense was horrific. And I go back to my podcast, not my meeting, my first ever podcast with Eric Decker, because he had the same offensive coordinator. And Tim Tebow was the quarterback. And he said it was the most boring playbook. The wide receivers were blocking. He goes, it was just a real plain and simple operation. And I reckon we kind of got a little bit of that. He's been getting away with all year, smacking these, what I think, average teams. As we said, they haven't played a complimentary team all year, in my opinion. People out there listening, what that means is CJ Stroud and the Texans, they dominated in two phases, but they didn't dominate on offense. So obviously that's why the Patriots could obviously get away from them. But this game, completely different. You knew the Seattle Seahawks stopped the run. You knew that they play really well against the wide receivers. And the fact that Hunter Henry and Hooper weren't getting any action. I saw Hooper was out on one play that Drake Maye missed, but it took them a half to get going and wake up. I mean, 50-something yards passing in halftime, and then he breaks the record in Q4. It's not good enough, Sip. You have 2 weeks to prepare for this. You should know exactly what you're walking into. And I just thought they got out-coached, and it was almost arrogant the way they went up about the Seahawks. I thought you can't just continue to try run the ball. We knew exactly what they were going to do as fans sitting here in Australia. And the fact that they didn't fire a shot, I mean, you're down 12-0, and then you throw that pick six. You're actually in the game. So you could actually argue the defense was holding up. But I was just a bit disappointed with some of the play calling in the first half, Sip, and I just wanted to reiterate that point.
No, I love it. I think it's a fair call. I think they needed to do things that the Seahawks hadn't seen before to give themselves a shot, and they didn't do so. Took too long to be able to get their game going. Made it very, very comfortable for what the Seahawks. The Seahawks threw some shots, and they did not know how to adapt to it. They came prepared, bringing in the safeties, bringing in corners to come in and rush the quarterback, and they just didn't have an answer for it. So I agree with you, Tommy. I think it was a bit disappointing when you got 2 weeks to prepare for it. I think they had this really, really simple game plan that they needed to adjust to, and get that defense of the Seahawks on the back foot just a little bit. Throw a deep ball there here or two. Make them have to adjust to it. We saw the Seahawks do the same thing. One of the first plays early in the play, Shaheed deep ball. It didn't work. It was a great defensive play, but guess what that opened up? The run game. Walker went nuts after that, and I think the Patriots needed to do the same thing. I think they needed to fire a couple of shots deep to get going, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, well said. And also, I thought Drake Maye held onto the ball way too long. I mean, the pressure's coming, but a few design plays to get it out to our man Hunter Henry is what we predicted. And in the end, what was one of our better bets on the program, I think he went for 35 yards and then got KO'd almost in the 2-point conversion. That was all in the last quarter, I felt like. So if it was there it was there, but they didn't take it.
Yeah, I don't know where they go to from here, to be honest. There's a lot to look at for them. They've obviously got to try and make something happen because they do have a stud quarterback that can make plays. He'll only get better. Real credit to him, but I just don't know where they go with that wide receiver room. So it's going to be a big, big off-season for the New England Patriots. I think their defense is going to be relatively good and keep them in games, but other than that, I think it's going to be a really, really tough ask. So it'll be an interesting one to watch.
Well, I heard the Dallas Cowboys are probably going to franchise tag Pickens, which is is a really strong move from Jerry Jones, which I looked at some free agents, which we'll get to another time. But the one thing I want to say is, again, we tip our hats, but to K9, a running back, Sharps unfortunately does his knee. He'll be back probably for the start of the year, you'd think. But you couldn't hit free agency with any better timing. Seriously. Like becoming a free agent as a Super Bowl MVP, I'm really interested to see what Snides is going to pay him. So I'm going to ask you, Sip, if you were the GM of the Seattle Seahawks, what contract are you going to put in front of K9?
Oh, it's a great question. I think he is a valuable part of that offense. I don't think you're putting up obviously Saquon Barkley money and things like that. I don't think you need to go that far with it. But you are doing a bit of work to try and keep him a Seahawk because he's a quality player. We've seen that. I do think they complement each other very well, and him and Charbonnet. But we saw what he's able to do as being the clear cut number one. And if he wants that opportunity, he's going to look at the free agency very, very hard and see, hey, if there's a clear-cut number one spot for me, he's going to have to consider it. So Schneider does have a bit of a situation on his hands. He may have to pay a little bit more than what he would like, but it's going to be a really close one to watch because he has come good at the right time, hasn't he? And as you said, Tommy, being a Super Bowl MVP is going to go a long way for him in the next few months.
All right, Sip, we're going to play a game of Fat Mate More or Less with overthecap.com's little report here on players that are paid the highest at running back position. So you say more or less, and obviously when you say more, I'll stop. Let's start with number one. Saquon Barkley's on $20.6 million a year, more or less, for K9.
Less.
Christian McCaffrey, $19 million a year.
Less.
Derrick Henry, $15 million a year.
Less.
Jonathan Taylor, $14 million a year.
Less.
Alvin Kamara, 12.2 mil a year.
Oh, he's worth more than Kamara.
What about Josh Jacobs, James Cook? They're on the same amount.
Yeah, I think he could be. I think he's around that mark. I like that kind of look for him there, around that $12 million mark there. I think I'd take for sure. So yeah, that's where I see him right now.
Guaranteed a
Yeah.
lot. Give him 3 years. We know the running back position's a tough one, but because they're in that window for success for the next 3 years, I think having him be there is, you need to keep him there. And then you obviously got your Charbonnets and Halani, and you might even have another back there just to deload him throughout the year. But I think you've got to pay this man. He is an absolute beast. I think it was Kyle Shanahan that might have said to the Niners on a podcast, man, when K9 works out who he really is, he's going to be like impossible to stop. And I think he might have woke himself up in this playoff. So, yeah, I thought I'd ask you that one.
No, it's very, very good. I agree.
All right, let's go to the Aces community and get some of their hot takes. I'll read them out and you give me some quick responses. CPJ imagery. The whole NFC playoff bracket beats the Pats in that Super Bowl.
I actually love that call. I would agree with that. I even think the Packers finishing number 7 could get the job done against the Pats. That's not a bad call. I like it.
I think it's a fantastic call. I mean, I was thinking, who we got there? The Bears, the Packers. Actually, you know what? I reckon the Niners without the defense would be the only one. As impressive as they are, and they're going to be a team to stop next year. But maybe the Niners struggle.
Yeah, I think besides that, though, I think everyone else has got them covered.
All right, let's keep moving. Connor Young, if Will Campbell fell into a bucket of tits, he'd come out sucking his thumb.
Oh, geez, I love when you have a bad game in the Super Bowl. They come after you hard.
Oh, Connor Young. Or, hey, Will Campbell, if you're watching, which you're not, that wasn't me. That was Connor Young. All righty. Tyler Himbrain, our man. Bo Nix is clearly better than Drake, the schedule may. Oh, the schedule's good.
Geez, I don't
mind the schedule. We've got
very
Drake
good.
Mayonnaise. We've got Drake Mayonnaise with Dove, and then we've got the schedule.
I like that. Yeah, not bad. I think Bo Nix probably puts up a little bit more of a fight, uses his legs a little bit more. I'll give him that.
This is a good one from our man, 100K Morgs. Josh McDaniels set Drake up to fail. Was dialing it up for prime Brady. Not going for it on that 4th down was horrific. Regret the things you do, not the things you don't. Pretty firm words there from our man Morgs.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's spot on. I think they needed to be more aggressive. They didn't do that, put him in the hole, and it was just trouble. I agree.
Charlie Moncrief, here we go. 4 to go. Seahawks will lose 2 starters next season.
They probably will, but I think they've got enough behind them to be able to get it done, so I'm not really too worried.
Yeah, good call from both of you. D. Hunt, Seahawks won't go close next year.
I disagree. You keep those main parts on defense. I know they've got a couple of studs in free agency that they need to work out, but I don't know. They've got weapons around them there. I reckon you'll see them there pretty close.
Sam Darnold gets injured, then maybe, but if he's healthy and the rest of them, they're only going to get better. Richie Mathers, Raiders to win the AFC West next year.
Not a hope in hell.
Tommy Crawford, Sip's shorts were way too short to be wearing on national television. Sip, talk to me about this one.
Oh, I got no idea what he's talking about, mate. I just like showing a bit of skin. What's wrong with that? It was a great day. Let's show it out. Here we go.
Might have been the ABC interview when you were talking about Dicko. You might have had him. You might have had the old skinny-legged shorts on.
Yeah, no, I might have. They were a bit high, but hey, look, you live with it and you just continue on, mate. So hey, look, great to be a part of.
Well, mate, that's all we've got for the program here. A little short snippet on the Super Bowl 60, review, and 29-13 it was. Patriots just got a little bit of belt to ass, as we predicted. We didn't want to see it, but we did see it. It was as ugly as it gets. Thank God we got something in the last quarter. But Seattle Seahawks, they were the best team all year. And when you think about it, the number 1 seed, Sip, the number 1 seed for a reason. It's a funny game how they both end up making the Super Bowl, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, look, I mean, I think in the end, it's just that the NFC, their conference, just had a way better conference in the end. They were hardened, they were battle-tested, and it proved it in the main stage. And it was a real credit to them, as I said. I know we've spoken about it enough throughout this show, but look, deserved winners, real champs. And the way they go about it was ultimate professional. They've got a great coaching staff and a really tight-knit group, and it comes out showing on the main stage.
Well said. And to our man Dicko, We love you, brother. We love everything you're doing for Australia. You punted lights out. You continue to put us on the map, especially Pro Kick Australia, Sip. That's what you're doing. You're working with all these young guns, and all of you have come through that program. So to see another Aussie crowned, but not only that, a man that's just so good at his position and a bloke that gave up so much time to the ausmericanaces this year. Just wanted to say another big shout out to our man. Congratulations. Can't wait to see him back in town. And unfortunately, we won't get to see the ring for a while. They get them at the start of next season. Is that correct?
Yeah, they get him during their little off season, so probably around the June mark or something like that. It normally comes out. Hey, there's a lot of there's a lot of work that goes into making sure those things are nice and shiny. And when you've got to do over 100 of them, it takes a fair bit of time. But obviously, that'll be a pretty special day for him as well.
I'll give you a little random one. What would you rather, a weekend away with Jessica Alba or a Super Bowl ring if you were single?
Oh, mate, I'd be taking a SuperBowl ring in a heartbit. Don't worry about that.
I reckon I'm flipping a coin, Sip. I reckon I'm flipping a coin.
Oh, I love it. I love
boy.
it.
Well, all right, let's go. Quick early predictions for next year before we round it out. All right, give me a Super Bowl prediction. Go.
LA Rams are going to be part of it next year. I think they just peeped the Hawks, so I like the LA Rams coming back and doing it again. I don't know who the AFC. I really couldn't give a shit. Shit conference. Worry about the NFC.
Oh, that's rough. I reckon the Ravens or the Bills, and it'll be versus the Rams or the Seahawks. I'm going to give 4.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
MVP. Quick MVP, go.
Oh, geez, that's a tough one. Far out. You put me on the spot here. I think Josh Allen with Joe Brady bounces back. I reckon he gets it going.
Yeah, not a bad one. I reckon Caleb Williams will be in the question next year. I reckon he's right up there. I think they might have a bit more behind them. Breakout team of the year?
I am really hoping, this is my little smoky, if they can get going, I'm actually going to put it on the Cincinnati Bengals. Their offense is healthy. If they can get it right, a little bit of pickup on the defense, that's just my little smoke show. I reckon they can bounce back.
Nice. I think the Chargers, man. I think a healthy Chargers with a couple more pieces. I reckon they will be they will steal the Patriots spot. I reckon you'll see a bit of change in that the AFC. All right, and the team to fall away, who misses their chance this year?
Oh, look, we probably have spoken about it briefly, but it's going to be tough for the Patriots. Like, I know it's probably the obvious thing to be able to go to, but I really do think that. I think it's going to be very tough for them to get back to where they were. The AFC will pick up. I think you had off seasons like the Chiefs, the Ravens. There's a couple of other teams that I thought maybe that fell away a little bit that I thought would be up there. And the Patriots took advantage of it like they needed to. Didn't get the ultimate success, but I think they find it hard to get back to where they were.
Well said, mate. I tend to agree. I'm kind of not leaning that way, though. I can't get my head around who's dropping away, but I just think the Jags will get even better. I think the fact that the Ravens missed, they'll be jumping back in. I think the Chargers will be better. The Bengals will be better. And then if you go to the NFC, like all those teams we spoke about, the Niners, the Bears, the Packers, like they're all going to be even better. It's kind of stacked, isn't it? I want to see the Titans do really well, but they just probably a couple years away. They just need a few too many pieces, but they've definitely got the most important one, which is quarterback. So, yeah, I wonder which team. And the other one's the Colts, but Jonesy might not be ready. Old Indiana Jones, he's a mile off. So they need to fix that quarterback position. It's going to be fascinating to see some of these off-season signings, free agency, and that's kind of when we'll be back, Sip. So, look, we weren't going to do this podcast. We thought, let's get a quick Super Bowl review. But what I want to end on is the people listening to this or watching this, we just want to say thank you so much for all your support. We work incredibly hard to give you the best content we possibly can. I feel like we've taken it to the next step this year. I want to thank you, Sip, for all your hard work and commitment every single week, rocking up. I want to thank PointsBet, StatMate, and everyone that's been partnered with us to make this possible. Morgs, DT, Benny, the Roller Media crew, everybody on the outside that just flips the clips and gets them up. All the hustle, the PointsBet traders for the ausmericanaces hub when we're putting in messages at bloody all hours on a Saturday, Sunday to get you, get it up for all of you at home. And most importantly, to all the Aces fans that tunes into this NFL show. It's only getting bigger and better. And to meet a few of you at Super Bowl Monday with the Tailgate Fest, was incredible. So thank you for coming up and saying g'day to both Sip and I and telling us how much they enjoyed the season. We're only getting started. The first game coming to Melbourne next year, or this year actually, the Niners-Rams. We want to get as many people together as possible. And Sip, we'll do more podcasts throughout the off-season to make sure that we're all over it, probably doing it at home so that we can jump straight on it. But there's plenty of free agency movement and a few more big signings coming. So this isn't the end, but I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody that's been there been there from the start or joined in throughout the year and watched us unfold. And it's really grown and taken it to the next step this year. So thank you.
Well said, Tommy. Look, credit goes to you as well, Tommy. The time and effort that you put in to do this show, a lot of it does go unnoticed. It's a real credit to you. You put in so much hard work here, and I appreciate you allowing me to be part of this journey. As you said, we're only getting started, mate, but you deserve your kudos as well for it because it doesn't go unnoticed. I know there's a lot of time that goes into it, mate, and you're an absolute star at it. So real credit to you as well, mate, and we're only going to get bigger from here.
Oh, you're a good man, Sip. You're a good man. And I must say as well, we always do surveys at the end of the year. So people listening or watching, we're not going to make it long. You're talking to me and Sip. We're simple operators. You're meat and veg, no bells and whistles here. We just want 3 questions. We want some feedback so we can make the NFL show even bigger next season. And we want to have your say. I thought the community engagement was elite. All the boys and girls that were sending in videos weekly with responses. That was what made the show even better. So look out for the survey. Please get involved. I'll make sure there's a little Rick's giveaway there. But hopefully that doesn't incentivize you any more than just trying to shape this show for next year so that we can grow the NFL community down under. That's all I've got. Congratulations to the Seahawks. Commiserations to Diggs and the Patriots. And we tip our hat to Bad Bunny and Dicko with some of those absolute monster punts. We'll probably apologise for everyone on the Ausmericanaces hub. It was a tough day.
It was a tough day.
We made you a lot of money throughout the year, so I don't apologise too much. But it was tough going, Sip. The Shaheed deep ball was right there. He just couldn't bring it in. Anyway, thanks guys.
Too good a defense.
And we'll see you guys soon. Cheers.